So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me for this 216 GSTS talk. So, now I will begin with my conversation. So, have you ever felt something deeply but struggled to put into words? And what if this kind of thing happened to you every day in everyday life? Or imagine a friend who tells you that they lost their job or something bad happened to them and you want to comfort them, but instead of saying something supportive, you just say, "Oh, that's too bad," and you just change the topic. Not because you don't care, but because you genuinely don't know how to comfort them or how to express your feeling in the situation. That's what life can be seen for someone with alexithymia. So, as I introduced, so my topic for today is alexithymia. As you can see on the slide, alexithymia is when words fail emotions. Alexithymia is a noun which is used to to define difficulty in expressing, and describing emotional responses. Moving on, for today's talk, I will be starting with the introduction, moving to sign and symptoms of alexithymia, type of alexithymia, causes of alexithymia, assessment tools, alexithymia in our Indian culture, its treatment or coping strategies, and by the end, I will be ending my talk with the conclusions. The next slide. The trait of alexithymia means no words for emotions. So it is a Greek word which was named in the 1970s by a group of psychoanalytical psychiatrists to describe a cluster of cognitive emotional processing shortfalls. So the psychoanalytical theory say that something which happened in our childhood experiences or something which happened unconsciously, and that those things how shape our desires and our day-to-day behavior. Moving on, you must have heard a lot of people, and sometimes this thing happened to us also, that we don't know what is happening around us. We just know that, oh, we had a fight with a friend, but we don't know what was the reason behind it. We were sitting in a family meeting or in a meeting of friends, but at that moment, I don't know how to make the right joke or how to answer to the right joke or whatever the situation is going on. I don't know how to deal with the situation at the right moment in the right way. And this is how sometimes it happened that, oh, the moment just passed. I got the answer, but the moment has passed. There was a joke my friend made, but I don't know how to laugh at that moment, or should I laugh? Should I not laugh? How should I give a proper answer reply to it? I don't know. So you must have heard and you must have experienced this situation that I have lost too many friends, but I don't know the reason. I have missed too many moments, but I don't know the reason what happened. And I have ruined too many conversations, which could be better, but now it's done. So this is something which alexithymia can look like. So the signs and the symptoms of alexithymia. So beginning with limited ability to verbally describing emotions, unable to recognize signs of emotional distress, difficulty time resolving internal psychological conflicts, and unable to express and elaborate on bodily sensation. Moving on the next slide, the four uh, traits that I showed in the previous slide, in the scientific manner, these can be defined as DIF, first one, that's difficulty identifying one's own feeling. Second is like DDF, that's this difficulty describing one's own feeling. Third is EOT, that's externally oriented thinking style. And the final one is constricted imaginal process. Okay, so what in this slide, what I want to say is that sometime it happened that we had a gut feeling, but we don't know if I am sick or I am nervous about something, I'm anxious about something, I'm happy about something, but we just had a feeling. We don't know what the bodily sensation is giving me, bodily sensation I'm getting, how to describe it, I don't know. Or maybe I am happy, but the people around me find me, oh, she looks confused or he looks confused. That's why I'm unable to describe my feeling. Or sometime it happen, oh, there is a situation, I'm sitting on a roller coaster, and again I'm confused, like, oh, should I be happy, should I be excited, should I be nervous? Like a lot of feelings are inside me, but I am unable to differentiate between them. and in the end, I find it difficult to explain those feelings to the people around me. Moving on, alexithymia can be understood in two ways. First, primary alexithymia, which is a stable personality trait, which somehow is a defaulted setting in everyone. Each and every living person had somewhat of alexithymia, like at some point of our life. We find it confusing how to describe myself, how to understand someone else, how to deal in a situation. But the secondary is the secondary alexithymia, which take place in our body as a defensive mechanism, which is where the problem arises. If it's the primarily alexithymia, which is a genetic problem, not a problem, like a genetic trait, it's okay. But if it arises as a defensive mechanism, this is where the problem arises. The defensive mechanism arises because of the environment around us, the expectations, what people are saying, what I'm expecting about myself. And this is where we find it very hard to deal in the since the trait aspect cannot be altered, the genetics trait cannot be altered. So psychotherapists work on it as a defense manager mechanism, which is secondary alexithymia, and secondary alexithymia is somewhat manageable. Moving on, alexithymia and other conditions. Now, like while I am speaking, many might be like thinking, oh, it somewhat sounds like maybe depression or anxiety or autism or something. All these topics are like borderline, like it's a spectrum of when we think about mental things, mental traits, it's a spectrum of everything. So alexithymia is something which lie on that spectrum. It's not one of the problem, but it's a trait which lie on that spectrum. So alexithymia, depression, and anxiety are strongly related but are very different from each other. Alexithymia is also present in other pathological such as substance abuse, dependence, eating disorders, and borderline personality disorder. That's why it can be confused with others. So in this slide, I have tried to divide like alexithymia, autism, and depression on the basis of three traits: emotional awareness, imagination, and social skills. When it's come to emotional awareness, an alexithymic person have a very on the level, like if there's a scale, it's like very low on the scale, the emotional awareness. For autism, it varies. For depression, it is also low, but it also depends on the mood of the person. When it comes to imaginations, for an alexithymic person, it's limited. For an autistic person, it's somewhat limited, but it's still there. For depression, it's almost like often intact. It's you can find it like it's often intact. When it's come to social skills, for an alexithymic person, it can be seen that the person can be seen as aloof. Aloof means like the person is not right for the group. The person is always don't know how to fit in the group. The person is not matching the vibe of the group. He's or she is not able to enjoy, or his or her presence is not that much affecting the group. So like left out in the group. For for an autistic person, social skills are often impaired, whereas for a person who is in depression, the social skills can be variable depending on again the mood of the person. Moving on, the causes of the alexithymia. So alexithymia is not something which is caused by one single thing, but it can be inborn. It can develop over time with the course of time, or it appears suddenly after trauma or illness or something which happened, something bad or something good happened, and so it's a mix of nature and nurture. So I will explain like little bit explanation. I will give a little bit explanation for all the four types. So first is the neurobiological causes. So the neurobiological causes can arise from the brain structure and the function. There like there are differences in the if there are differences in the areas like the cortex or insula, the parts of the brain only. I don't want to put more scientific words so that more people can connect to it. So I'll be using the layman language. So, like if there are differences in areas like cortex, insula, so which are primary key parts to help in the emotional processing. If there are differences in that, alexithymia can take place. The right hemisphere of the brain. So the right hemisphere of the brain is also involved when it comes to emotional awareness. So if there is any dysfunction in the right hemisphere of the brain, alexithymia can be born. The second cause can be psychological causes. That's childhood trauma or neglect in the childhood, which is like emotional neglection or abuse, which can stunt emotional development, leading to difficulties expressing or even recognizing emotions around us. Or as a defense mechanism, when some researchers believe that alexithymia can develop as a coping mechanism to disconnect from overwhelming emotions around us. The third is development factor. Development factors is like attachment issue, like poorly early bonding with caregivers can impair emotional learning, like autism. Alexithymia is highly, can be seen can be seen a lot in the autistic people also. So many people with autism can also struggle with, emotional awareness. And the last one is acquired or the secondary alexithymia, which can develop after brain injury or stroke or neurological illness or something. Parkinson disease also. So yeah, these are the causes of the alexithymia. Moving on. Like up to one in every 10 person all over the world may experience alexithymia, and yet most have never heard of it. Most have no idea like what they are dealing with, what they have, if there is an issue. They don't have any idea. So studies on non-clinical population found approximately 10% of people around the world dealing with alexithymia, more commonly among with males. Studies have suggested that family and environment as risk factor for having alexithymic features. Maternal psychopathology and if inefficient parenting can also lead to alexithymia, and adverse effect in childhood or inadequate parenting can lead to emotional dysregulation in the person, leading to a stable alexithymic feature, making it a dimension of the personality, a part of the personality. Moving on, in the especially like in the brown families in the Indian society, in the South Asian part of the Asia, of the world actually, the emotional suppression is very common due to cultural influences, like cultural stigma around mental health. People think, oh, we should not talk about emotions. It's for the weak. It's not for the. If you are a man, you should not talk about emotions, or like the traditional gender roles, especially for men. Like I said, if you are the man, you should not mention emotions when it comes to a daily day-to-day conversation. When you are sitting in a family meeting, when you are sitting with friends, you should not talk about emotions. You should not tell how you are feeling. So at the end of the day, person even forget how to express themselves. There are family norms discouraging in emotional expression, and talking about feeling is often seen as weak or unnecessary. In this slide only, I want to add that most of alexithymic people also like find difficulty in, having good relationship with their partners also, not just friends, not just family, but romantic partners also. Or maybe like when it comes to God or something, they find it difficult to like fall back on anyone or anything. They found hard to express themselves. They try to find reason behind everything, but at the end of the day, they just, you know, found themselves in a maze. There is no way out. They just get in, but there is no way out. There is always a confusion. Next slide. Next slide is the assessment tool. So the most common scale that is used to measure alexithymia is TAS20. TAS20 is it's a Toronto alexithymic scale. It is a 20-item self-report measure consisting of three subscales, namely difficulty identifying feelings, difficulty describing feelings, and externally oriented thinking. So uh, it's a scale in which I have added the link for this test also in the slide. So whenever you have time, you can take this test. It's like take maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So consists of 20 questions, and on the basis of 20 questions, you should like answer very fairly. If you answer those 20 questions fairly, you will be there will be some points where point one means strongly disagree, point five means strongly agree. On the scale, if you get points which are less than 51 or equal to 51, you can be said you are a non-alexithymic person. If you get points between 52 to 60, there may be possibility of alexithymia. And if you get more than 61, more than 61, it means you are found an alexithymic person. So I hope like I will, and the and I will try to add this link in the comment box also, so you can try it and take this test. So moving on, studies have suggested that moderate to high prevalence in India, especially among medical and engineering students, adolescents facing academic or personal pressure, individuals with psychomatic disorders. So in these three categories, the alexithymic trait is found the most. And in a study which was done in 2017, it was found that 20 to 25% of college students shows positive signs of alexithymic by using the TAS scale. Moving on, alexithymia in Indian culture. So alexithymia in India is influenced by cultural norms that often discourage open emotional expression, leading individual to manifest emotional distress, physical symptoms. And the social construction of emotions is culturally defined in India. As in, like in Indian culture, there is emphasizing on emotional control with different norms for females and males. Okay, so in this part of the slide, I want to add something. When I come to the topic about alexithymia, I just stumble over on one day, like I was just looking for some podcast or something. I just stumble over this topic. And I found myself, like when I start reading about it, when I start listening about it, I found myself that maybe I know someone, maybe very close to me, maybe in my family, or maybe the people, my friends around me, oh, they have something similar traits. And there is a case, like very, very close to me, a person in my family that is that for him that it's very hard for him to express himself. And all the family members are trying, oh, maybe there is a, someone had done something on him, someone had done something on him, or like he must be thinking about something, we don't know the reason, we don't know the reason. But because we are in the Indian culture, we are in the Indian society, the family is also in opposed to consult a doctor, a psychiatrist, or seek medical help. They are like, even they don't even want to try to understand what is happening with the person. So this was like maybe one of the case. Then I see around myself, oh, I can sense that one of my friend, he or she is having a hard time describing themselves. Or maybe we are going on a trip, they are happy but their face don't look happy, and I have to ask them, are you happy? And they are like, oh, I don't know, I'm just confused if I'm happy or not, or should I do this or not, and I'm feeling something, but I don't know how to tell it. So there are a lot of confusion like around the people. And then I feel like, oh, this is something important that we should know, but we always, blindly just close our eyes on these kind of things. So in Indian culture, maybe my parents, maybe my grandparents, maybe at some extent, because I'm also the part of that culture only. I also am neglecting. If I am also having some issues, I will neglect it and I will never seek something like this. So coming through for this alexithymia is like was very important, and I feel like a very crucial thing which happened, and I'm very happy to share it with you all. Moving on, I have in the next slide, I have added four slides for research, like some just brief research, because I don't want to put a lot of numbers because it's about emotions. And if I put more numbers, it will just, overlap the emotional construct that I want to share with the people and I want people to understand. So, in a study which was conducted on 20 non psychotic patients with one medically unexplained somatic complaint in Bangalore, using diagnosis criteria for psychosomatic research, it was found that 45% of the patients were reported alexithymic positive. In the other report, a study which involved 60 female Indian outpatients with multiple somatic complaints found that alexithymia was significantly correlated with abnormal illness behavior, particularly in the communication and somatic illness beliefs. So, what somatic illness is like? It's repeating again and again. So, somatic illness mean you might have some physical symptoms, like maybe having headache, having a bad stomach, So sometimes this happen when we are emotionally overwhelmed. Sometimes, like when I am overwhelmed, suddenly a music start, suddenly sometime it happen on the road. There is a music popping out. There is some music there, and my stomach feels start crumbling because I just feel nervous about it. Like what just happened? So that's somatic symptom. Like our body start to react, but we don't know how to express it emotionally. But our body start to behave. The third study, sectional study among medical students in North India, indicated that higher level of alexithymia was associated with decreased self-efficiency, affecting students' ability to regulate emotions and achieve academic goals. Like again, the parental pressure or maybe pressure from students, like teachers, or maybe just like, oh, I'm not doing good, my friend is doing good. Oh, I'm not doing good, my whole class is much more better than me. And in that context, in this, like, there is a contest going on, and I just forget myself that I should eat properly at the proper time. I should drink properly at a proper time. And I just neglect my whole emotion, whole body, and everything start dysfunctioning. The last study, it was in a study on Indian and American students regarding expression of emotions and control. It was found that Indians' expression of emotions was modulated by other expectations and maintaining group harmony and avoiding situations in which there is a possibility of devaluation of self or the family. Moving on, it's a you can move the slide. Yeah, it's a it's a clip. It's a picture that I take from that I borrow from the World Economic Forum. So this is like a NGO kind of thing. It's normal, just a survey for the from the people, from a lot of people. So in this slide, shown that how the Indian people attitudes about those affected with any mental trait, including alexithymia or depression or autism or anything. When it's come to emotion, how Indian people behaves. So it was found that in this survey, it can be noted that a majority of respondents appreciate that the importance of social support for people with mental illness. But while like 68% people agree that responsible to provide support and care for the people who are suffering from any kind of mental distress, the number of people who believe that no one has the right to exclude people with mental illness from the neighborhood, it is compared lower. Like it was just 57% people who think that, oh, they should not be removed. Other people do think that, oh, they should be taken care in a different way. They should be dealt differently, maybe. So, if individuals continue to view mental illness with apprehension and resistance, it will always remain difficult for people with a mental health concern to seek the support uh, they require due to the fear of being labeled judged or being labeled different, or they will always feel left out in a group of people. Moving on, uh, this is also very important because alexithymia lie on the spectrum of mental disorders and mental traits. So alexithymia do have some relation with suicidal ideation also. Again, when person don't know how they are feeling, if they are sad or if they are happy, and they don't know what to do in the situation, suddenly two people come and start talking to me. I don't know how to talk to them. I will just start sweating, or I will just have my hand will become cold. I will just try to find any escape to run away from the situation. It become hard. And when this is the little example, but when this situation come to, oh, I failed an exam, it was an important exam, I didn't have more chances, or oh, I was preparing for this thing for last 2 years, my parents were thinking that I will do it good, but I didn't do it good. What should I do? I will just close myself in the room, or I, like, people may do something which should not have done, or maybe if they have someone to talk to or to express themselves in a good way, it will be more better. So there are a lot of studies which have demonstrated that person with alexithymic person is also associated with suicidal ideation, and this was found in a lot of, like, the whole spectrum, like the OCD people, who had like obsessive compulsive disorder. They want everything to be neat. They want everything to be done in a proper way, in a very good way. The disordered eating, binge eating disorder. When you panic, you binge eat. You binge eat. You just want to eat and eat. Panic disorder, anxiety disorder, journal anxiety disorder, or the general population, university students, and the adolescents also. The kids who are between the age of 13 to 19, it's become very crucial at that time that they have someone to talk to, and they know how to express themselves. They know how to embrace the emotion that they have. In the next slide, uh, there are consistent evidence which was found that alexithymia and self-harm, alexithymia is also linked with self-harm. And it was found that in both in the clinical and non-clinical population, that the people with alexithymia are self-harming themselves. That's NSSI, that's non-suicidal self-injury, maybe harming themselves just to make themselves feel more calm, because again they don't know how to deal, so they just start harming themselves. Maybe the harm can start with just maybe biting the nails, maybe biting the hen skins, or maybe something, but that's also something which can be like counted as self-harm. And there is a very big spectrum for self-harm, and I don't think it's good to say those things, but yeah, it's a like a spectrum of self-harms. So more specifically, with regards to studies that define self-harm as either suicide attempts or NSSI, that's non-suicidal self-injury. Several studies demonstrated that alexithymia is associated with self-harm in adolescents, and substance use disorder and suicidal clients in the emergency department. Okay, so what are the treatment and the coping strategies? So the treatments and the coping strategies can be understood in the 7 points. I have tried to divide in the 7 points. First is psychotherapy approaches. This is something scientific. You can say it's scientific. First is like in psychotherapy approaches is cognitive behavioral therapy, that's CBT. It helps define through pattern and build emotional vocabulary. Another one is emotion focused therapy, that's EFT. It encourages deeper awareness and expression of emotions. Third is psychodynamic therapy. It explores unconscious emotion conflicts, often related in childhood. Second one is mindfulness and body awareness. That's it helps distinguish between physical sensations and emotions to differentiate. Oh, I don't have a bad stomach, but I'm feeling overwhelmed because of the situation. So mindfulness, if we are just having sitting and try to understand what I am feeling, maybe I can differentiate the emotion that I am having in the situation. Third one is creative therapy. Creative therapy can include art therapy, music therapy, dance or movement therapies. Again, something which I enjoy. If I'm enjoying something, I'm focusing at some part, I can differentiate my emotions again. I can have some time for myself and make a scale in which, oh, this is something when I feel happy, this is something I am feeling bad, this is this. I can differentiate between them. Third is the fourth one is journalizing and expressive writing. So writing about your daily experiences and how you felt can also help in coping alexithymia or any emotional conflict. The fifth one is group therapy and peer support. So, but like in group therapies, an alexithymic person can find it difficult in the beginning. I will say in the beginning, because again, a person don't know how to express themselves, so he or she may find it difficult in a group therapy. But as the time passes, he or she can find it very easy to sit in a group and talk with the people and get their emotions described in their own ways. The sixth one is mobile app and digital tools. Nowadays, there are a lot of applications. There are a lot of mobile apps and digital application, digital help you can find. I also downloaded an app while preparing for this only. And so if you go on the Play Store on or your iPhones, you can find a lot of applications which can help you track your emotions every day, every hour. Like whenever you to track it, you can point it out at any time. And the last one is the family and social support. Family is really important, especially when it again comes to brown families, because the India, like the South Asia countries, family is very important because every kid want to do things for family, every parent want to do things for the kids, so it's always interrelated. So without family, you can't do anything. So it's very important that in the family, people become aware to talk about it. The parents become aware what the kid is thinking instead of thinking he is a guy and we should be rude with him, she is a girl, we should be calm with him. I think if parents and our guardians start having a proper conversation in a sitting, in a family sitting, it also help to reduce frustration and improve communication among the members. So encouraging, emotionally safe environment in home is very important for alexithymic babies. So next slide. I will conclude my talk by saying that alexithymia is not a lack of emotions. The person will be full of emotions, but it is a difficulty in recognizing and expressing it. Every person have a lot of emotions. Like you don't even know the name of the emotion. What's the name of the emotion? It's like, shades of emotions. You just don't know. So it's not lack of emotion. It just I don't know how to recognize it, how to describe it, and how to express it. And in the end, it somehow start affecting the well-being and the relation and the mental health. And all these things happen very silently. So cultural norms, especially in societies like India, which can contribute to underdiagnosis or emotional suppression. Awareness and empathy and therapy can make a real difference. Sympathy doesn't work. Sympathy is something you can sympathize with anything. You can sympathize with maybe even with a wall. The wall is black. No, the wall is white. No, sympathy doesn't work. You have to empathize. Like this person is having hard time. I may be at the same situation, or like my family member be at the same situation. My loved one be at the same situation. So how should I behave? Instead of neglecting the person, instead of pushing the person away from me, I think if I am in any way I'm helpful for the person, it's very important. Next. So when you can't name the feeling, you can't tame it. You can never tame it. So understanding emotion is very first step when it's come to healing. So let's normalize emotional conversations, encourage mental health awareness, and be patient with ourselves and the others when emotions seem hard to explain, because its emotions will always be hard. So by in the end, I have added some references that I have used for my slides. There are not a lot of references, but like you can go through, because in the last 20 years, in 2004 to 2024, there are not a lot of research done in this area. Before, yes, when 1970s, when it was first discovered, this term was first coined. A lot of this work had been done, but in the last 20 years, a lot of work has not been done. Something still not new. It's old, but still a lot of attention is needed in this field. So you can go through the links, like if you want, I can share in the end the references. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, now I am open for the questions. Thank you so much for having patience with me.
Thank you so much, Shivani. It was an amazing talk and very insightful. So, congratulations to you for this wonderful talk. अभी हमारे ऑडियंस की कुछ क्वेरीज है, कुछ क्वेश्चंस है, उनके पास हम जाएंगे,
Yeah.
लेकिन उससे पहले मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप if पॉसिबल अपना कैमरा ओपन कर सकती है, अगर तो वो बहुत ज्यादा
My
सही रहेगा
my
थोड़ा.
camera Actually, my camera is turned on. I don't know why it's not showing.
इट्स ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. एक एक करके मैं क्वेश्चंस लेता हूँ जो पूछे गए हैं. सो द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज फ्रॉम आयुष राज. He's asking, is alexithymia inherent to a person's personality, or is instigated or and compounded by his or her social interactions?
Hi, Ayush. First, hi. Alexithymia is not something which is inherited. As I told, in genetics, everyone had somewhat of that difficulty in expressing or talking about emotion. It's just something defaulted. But alexithymia, when it started up as a issue, it is something which happened because of the environment around us. Maybe the neglect from the family or expectations, or maybe I don't have the right group of friends. They are always ragging me. Instead of understanding me, they are always making joke about me. So it's just something which is inherited, which is not inherited from birth, but which take place while we are living in the society. So as I mentioned in one of the slide, it can also be because of the maternal psychopathology. So it because like if a mother, like if I'm the mother and I am having hard time, expressing myself. So if I have a baby, if I have a kid, I don't know at what time, how should I deal with the kid? How don't know how to talk with the kid. If he's crying, I will be like, just shut up, just don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. But this is not the right way to deal with a kid, deal with a baby. S- so by the time the kid will grow up, he or she will have some difficulty because they don't know, they were never have that emotional, like good emotional handling. So yeah, it's because of the environmental thing. Yeah, majorly because of the environmental thing.
Okay, Shivani. There is one more question from Himanshi Mehra.
Hmm.
How do you think we
Hmm.
can heal or make the world more aware about it without making it look like a problem?
I think if it's her name is Himani, right? Yeah, yeah. Like if like Himani, if you are like a student, right? If you are a student, and especially if you are a Delhi University student, you have the easiest way to make people aware. Like I think, like I am outside the India right now, and I think Delhi University is just not university, but it's a platform for student when it come to express themselves, when it come to make others aware. So I think if, as a student, if we are having conversation with our family, in our friends, around with our friends, instead of making boundaries with the friends, if we are having good conversation without any boundaries, unfiltered conversations with our friends, whatever difficulty we are having in our day to day life, I think we can heal others, we can heal ourselves, and we can make a difference.
ओके शिवानी,
Mhm.
चैट बॉक्स में और भी क्वेश्चंस है, बट टाइम लिमिट की वजह से हम सारे क्वेश्चंस नहीं ले सकते. मे बी नेक्स्ट टाइम हम उन क्वेश्चंस को लेंगे. और एक
Sure.
क्वेश्चन, लास्ट क्वेश्चन मैं आपसे पूछूंगा जो कि हमारी साइड से है कि हाउ वाज योर
Yes.
एक्सपीरियंस विद जीएसटीएस. जीएसटीएस के साथ आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा?
My experience with GSTS has been always good. Like I don't like it's just something I don't know how Dr. Manish sir is like handling all this thing, but keeping everything together. Again, it's the maybe the magic of Dr. Manish and the magic of Delhi University that we have the platform to talk. I was a student of Delhi University, but I still can be here because of Dr. Manish and you, all the guys, all the moderators, and everyone. So it's has been always good. It is good, and it always will be good. So it was an amazing experience.
थैंक यू सो मच शिवानी. अब इसी के साथ आइए जानते हैं कि हमारे जो आज के गेस्ट है डॉक्टर रविशंकर सर, उनसे कि उनको जो है आपका टॉक कैसा लगा. सो डॉक्टर रविशंकर सर.
Yes, I congratulate Shivani for such a wonderful exposition on this topic, alexithymia. Uh, she has covered almost everything, I guess. She started with the clinical picture, etiology, the causes of a problem, causes of a mental problem. And she also talked about therapeutic approaches and coping strategies, and substantiated her talk with most of the relevant researches in this area. So I congratulate her. And I have few observations, a few comments to make, particularly for the reason that I think on this group now, there are students from and participants from different disciplines, from history, as the organizer itself is one of the organizer is the History Student Society. I have to make 3 points. One about the classification, second about the assessment and cultural perspective. Somebody has put the bell, just a second. I'm so sorry. So one that as we have classification for physiological problems, the physical diseases that we may catch. Similarly, there is the classification of mental disorders also, the psychological disorders. Earlier, the term abnormality was also in practice, but these days, because of the negativity attached or laden with this word, this is not much used. So we say disturbances or mental disorder. And the classification of the mental disorders, the most accepted internationally, it is by DSM, which is again by American Psychological Association, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. So this body has classified different mental problems, mental disorders. Up to now, Alexithymia, Shivani, correct me if I am wrong. Alexithymia is not classified under any of the broad categories of mental disorder. But
Yes, sir.
yes, it is a trait. Yes, it is a trait, and
Yeah.
it has
Yes, sir.
connections. It has connections with other mental disorders, which Shivani rightly pointed out in her presentation. So that is one. Secondly, we also, to understand psychological problems, there are different perspectives. So one of the perspective is cultural perspective to understand mental disturbances. So in what is a problem in one culture might not be a problem in another culture. So certain emotions may be completely absent in some other cultures, and this problem, alexithymia, is about difficulty in as Shivani said, difficulty in identifying, expressing, and differentiating between emotions and feelings. So if certain emotions are absent in some culture, then to look at from one standard scale or one standard perspective, and particularly when it comes to the assessment, the measurement part, to what level somebody is at what level somebody is suffering from a particular problem. So this there is this assessment issue. So we need to be cautious while understanding this problem. So using the tools, assessment tools developed in one particular culture might not be very suitable and very appropriate in some other culture. So we need to be cautious. and yes, we need to be culturally sensitive to understand this, and see the severity of the problem is could be such that from your personal, interpersonal, familial, social, and all these kinds of dysfunctionality uh, uh, can be attached, and life could just be, extremely painful for the person who is suffering from alexithymia, or the people around the person who is suffering. So I won't say much now, considering the time limit. But once again, I congratulate Shivani, and I congratulate this group, Graduate Scholars Talk Series, and his compasser, and everybody, the entire team of uh, uh, SDTS. Uh, sorry, Graduate uh, Scholars Talk Series entire team, and thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर योर प्रीशियस रिमार्क्स, एंड आप अपना कीमती समय निकाल के हमारे साथ जुड़े उसके लिए। एंड उसी के साथ आज हमारे साथ जो सारे फैकल्टी मेंबर्स जुड़े हैं, सारे टीचर्स, हमारे जो ऑडियंस है, उनका भी मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ कि वो हमारे साथ जुड़े। एंड इसी के साथ आई हैंड ओवर दिस सेशन टू द मनीष करमवा सर।
Thank you, Mr. Manthan. So again, it's a very interesting session. Uh, and firstly, I have two work to do. Like first, I invite few of my students and colleagues from different, and lastly, my concluding remarks. Okay, so for this, I'd like to invite firstly from South Korea, Miss Natalia. If she wants to say something, it would be better. So if Natalia is here, so can you open your mic and say something? If not, it's fine. I don't have any problem. Okay, so it's perfect. With us, one of senior faculty members, Simi ma'am is here. I think so, Dr. Simi Mehta. Uh, no, she also, yeah, no issues. It's a fine. So one another colleague, Uma ma'am is here. So if you want to say something, Dr. Uma Navi, so you can go ahead, please.
Hello, Dr. Manish sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, all the participants and the presenter. Congratulations to her for such an interesting and relevant topic. Uh, that is what I mean. It was an eye opener even for me. So many things I didn't know. I came to know about the on this specific topic. So just that's what I want to, say. Just very interesting and very, very relevant topic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. If anybody want to say something from the student, because I know there are so many students, so if you want to raise your hand, so I can open your speaker. Anybody want to say something from the student side? Anubhuti, if you want to say something, Anubhuti Rajpreet.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I joined a little late, but from what I gathered about the talk, the only comment that I'd like to make was again that talking about something like this, alexithymia for that matter, or even depression or bipolar disorder or any mental disorder for that matter, at this stage is very important and crucial, and for young people like us to also understand the gravity of situations like these. It's important that we have these conversations on such a platform. So kudos to the speaker and the GSTS team. It was great.
Thank you. Okay, so we have only 240 seconds left clock is ticking 6 o'clock. So firstly, our moderator Manthan, it's really fantastic that you moderate the whole session perfectly. And like every Sunday, this is another Sunday is very interesting for me also. When I first met, I never met personally to Miss Shivani, but 25th July 2021, just COVID hits the everywhere, and we had formed this platform. And GSTS 24, she talked on medieval alchemy, I think so, and she was then in Gargi College secondary student, Gargi College secondary student after completing MSc chemistry, and now she's doing PhD from a university outside India. So thank you very much, that Shivani, that you keep attached with this forum and you endorse that what we are doing is a correct path, because it's very difficult to maintain those pace and idea. It's a almost fifth year. So, and thank you, you and your colleagues or your friends from South Korea also, and from my students from uh, different colleges of Delhi University, from my Department of African Studies, and my colleagues from different college of Delhi University. So, and uh, I'm not going to talk about on this alexithymia, because my idea is very orthodox about it. Those who are close to me, they know that I'm not believe on these things. I don't know why, because as a moderator, but I accept each and every idea from yours, Shivani, and others, those who are presented their ideas. So, what are the main problem, and what are the remedies to do so? Because right now we are having 51 and 79 to 51. So everybody now thinking whether we have alexithymia or any mental disorder or not. So somehow, because we are a gene, everybody having the different DNA, and we have composition of the neurons. So everybody have some and other problems in their minds, in their bodies, in their everything. But how we solve this problem? So we solve this problem through the soul. So mind and body's problem you can resolve through the soul. So these are the few ideas of mine. Like when one of my student in my PhD scholar, he talked about, so when I like work till 3 p.m. After 3 p.m. I may start thinking. So this is rubbish, and it's to me also. When you are late, so your whole body clock is going to be in wrong direction. So the whole young scholars and most of these students are from PhD. So I think not less than 1 p.m. So go before the bed before 1 p.m. And one of my good friend, the long journey with her, she also talked about the before 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. So definitely after 12 p.m., it's if you took 1 hour sleep, it will just like a 30-minute sleep. So the most important thing to each and everyone, kindly go to bed before 1 p.m. and attached, and it's a your attachment to anything, like involve yourself to one and another thing. Definitely, if you are not attached, I'm not called in intimacy, but if you are not attached with anything, so you cannot survive in this brutal world. So you must attach yourself to one and another work, and which is up to the mark. Suppose that for GSTS and for the other thing, whatsoever reason I'm here. So this is maybe one kind of people, the Eurocentric approach call it's a mental disorder, but it's not mental disorder. You have to have attached with someone or some idea to survive in this world. So strike out whether you have to follow one good idea or start something good which change the world. So this is the two solution of from my side. clock is ticking 6:01. Thank you very much, Professor Rabi from Ambedkar College. Yesterday night I called you and you suddenly you accepted my invitation. So thank you very much for your wonderful discussion, and really young lady and young scholar from Delhi University who is giving very good idea in South Korea, and the South Korean people are very sweet because my head's daughter just got married to South Korean boy, so I met him, and now he is in computer science doing PhD. So it's a very wonderful idea to be in South Korea. So all the best, the speaker, Miss Shivani, your journey, your fantastic journey through GSTS, but you don't feel depressed. We are here because that means we are here as a teacher, as a friend, we are here. So anytime you feel disorder or alexithymia, so you contact our teammates, so you become very happy. Okay, and thank you, my graduate, postgraduate, and MPhil and PhD students and my colleagues. So it's a very good, and I don't see 60 or 49 alexithymia patient. I'm not called patient, so don't think negative. Oh, the one and another idea of alexithymia into you. No, you, India is a country where mental disorder is a very difficult. Go outside and meet the people, and every time you forget your these kind of ideas. Okay, and in the lighter note, the reply of alexithymia is Alexa. So music and सुनिए और enjoy कीजिए. Thank you very much, Shyam Lal Evening College, again and again giving me this opportunity to conduct this program. So thank you all. So it's time to leave next Sunday. Suddenly, one of our young scholar not picking up phone, because usually we are here to give you synopsis to the other the next Sunday GSTS talk. So what happened suddenly? She didn't pick up our call. So the graduate students. So but don't worry, we are having 6 day time, and we are coming with the another topics. Thank you very much, my moderators and my all students. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. All the best.